School's Computer Club initiative, promoting creativity, innovation and entrepreneurship.
Good morning, Crystal Stacks. We are, yes, it's Evelyn in Nigeria. So can you hear us?
I can, yes. Can you all hear me?
Yes, you are welcome. So let me quickly introduce you before you take the floor. So we welcome Crystal Stacks to this 2022 International STEAM Summit and Award. She will be talking about exploring the connection between local food systems and robotics. She is a 4-H agent from Union County in North Carolina, USA. So she will be talking more about herself, and she has a spectacular presentation for us today, and I know that the schools are ready. So over to you, Krista Starks.
Thank you so much. I am going to share my screen. All right. Okay. I can see. So hi, everyone. Again, my name is Crystal Starks, and I am in the USA. And I work for 4-H, so we are a youth development program. I work for kids between the ages of 5 to 18 years old. And we do a lot of fun things, especially. So I'm really excited to talk to you all about exploring the connection between local food and robotics. So first, just a little bit about me. Again, I am a 4-H agent. I have about 10 years of youth development experience, and I have received like awards and accolades in STEM education with the Youth Development Association under 4-H. So a little bit about my organization. I work for...
Hello, Krista Stacks. Let me mute everybody so that there will not be noise in the audience. Let me mute everyone so okay, I can give you the floor. So you can go ahead now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
So with North Carolina Cooperative Extension, we provide research-based information. A lot of our information traditionally focused on agriculture, but also there was a need for you to learn about STEM related skills. And in USA, we had 40% of our companies are having a difficulty of finding young people to fill in those positions that are STEM related. And then also with the local foods, it became an opportunity for us to think about how are we going to feed all these people, and a need also for those high skill jobs. But the jobs now in agriculture are so like linked very closely to technology and STEM. Oh, my. Okay. And that was when I created a program called Supermarket Robots. So in this discussion, I will share with you all kind of the introduction and the foundation of the program. What is local food and why is it important? Thinking about where does our food come from? Robots in agriculture already, the actual supermarket robots, and how you can incorporate it in your classroom or group settings. So again, the lesson for supermarket robot, or just exploring the connection between robots and our local food system, it starts with the basis of what is local food, helping the young people understand where does our food come from, how does it connect, and also what are our top commodities, what are the highest areas of food where we grow in our area. In my county, we are very high in poultry, so chickens, turkeys, really high there, as well as our wheat production. So it's important for the kids to understand that connection and where our food comes from and where our county is listed in our number of foods. Also, again, looking at robots in agriculture, seeing how robots are used, what are different ways that they are used, and then applying that with the robots so that it has that bridge and connection between the two. So I'm sure you all have heard, but we have to think about how are we going to produce enough food for up to 10 billion people by the year of 2050. That is the biggest question that everyone's trying to figure out is how do we make enough food where we can feed the entire world, especially with the rapid growth that we have. And our farmers, as well as agricultural businesses, are steadily working on ways in order to create a way to support our growing population regularly, either through in the labs for science or just trying to figure out how it can be done more efficiently and effectively so that no one's spending hours and hours of time working on the field if they can utilize technology and it will help to do that. Or I think about fields like cornfields and looking at the water supply is it takes so long just to see how much water is needed versus if you have a device like a drone, you can look above and take a picture and you can see which area of your field is totally dry. Now, what is local food? The official definition of local food is defined as the production and marketing of food to consumers, so the people who are going to buy the food at a close distance. And most people purchase these local foods at local farmers market or some type of you-pick farms, farm stands, and some local foods are actually found in the supermarkets. The first activity that I always share with the kids is really starting with the foundation, them looking at where does their food come from and what are the top commodities in their area. I have an example for Union County and the state of, actually it's just the state of North Carolina, and where everything's ranked as far as the USDA, so the US Department of Agriculture. They put out statistics every couple of years, typically around the census, that is solely based on the ranking for different commodities. And for us in North Carolina, it's top in pig crops, poultry, cucumbers, peanuts. So those are top commodities that we grow. And actually sweet potatoes rank number one, along with like tobacco and poultry and egg cash receipts. So it's good for the kids to see exactly what grows and what are like top producing items, and even having them look outside, like what do you see growing in your area and how does that rank based on the statistics from the USDA Agriculture Service. And from there, I moved in robots in agriculture, getting the young people to see exactly how robots in agriculture work very closely together, because it's so important for them to realize that growing industry and career field. So in the last activity, they looked at the large production of farmers doing some hands-on harvesting for their crops. But what would happen if we relied on our computers and robots to help with the harvest? I over the summer during our summer camp, I actually had my young people think about that. Like how much time would they save just from utilizing a robot to actually do, yeah. Mhm. Um, like what how can they actually protect that? How can they help with using like a robotic hand to reduce the time? Right. So now I have a quick video that I want to show you all. Oh, yes, I was saying that, thank you for asking. I was explaining that oftentimes I meet with the young people and we discuss ways that you can work, I would say, like more efficiently, or they're saving time in how they harvest items or harvest like crops from a field or any type of farming. Like, how can they save time? And I think this video will be a great way to kind of demonstrate that for you all. All right. Now in the chat, I want you all to write what was some of the ways that you saw technology being used from the video. How did you see technology or some type of device being used for that egg production? Yep, washing the eggs. Yeah, that's right. What else did you see? Yeah, the treadmill, the collection, right? The storing. Yep, and then distribution. Yep, definitely in the packaging. Absolutely. So those are some great ways. They use a lot of technology at this farm. It's actually a local farm. Yep, and how they preserve it, separating the eggs. Yeah. Even I always talk about, like, what about the bad eggs? We don't see it, but I'm sure there's some sorting mechanism on their whole conveyor belt where it takes out the bad eggs that may have like a double yolk or not a grade A egg, or it has a crack, because at least we don't like our eggs to be cracked for some reason, but I don't mind. Sure, it's for contamination reasons, but so making sure that it is of quality. There's some sorting things. So y'all have some really great ideas and saw a lot of great things in how they utilize the technology. Let's see. Okay. So I know the presenter before talked about Dash and Dot and Make Wonder, and I have the Dash and Dot robots in my office, and I utilize Dash a lot to do like basic word block coding. So in this example, it's called Harvest Time. So Dash is now a combine harvester and has to travel up and down this field. And Dash will start from one corner on the mat and it's going to drive up and down. So going and creating a row until it gets to the end. So this is an easy math discussion with young people thinking about how long will it take or how far is it, or even how much are they collecting. It's a good way for them to think about, but again, they're going to travel up and down. And this is just an example of me going through the actual program. So again, I'm utilizing the Make Wander Dash robot, and they use word blocks. So you can tell it exactly how far you're going, what turns you need to make, what's the speed. And this is the online version. Or if you use a software like Scratch or anything, you can do the exact same problem with whatever programming software that you use with your programs. But you're just creating your robot or whatever your robot device to move up and down a row as if it's a field. So it's really helping the kids to use imagination, really utilizing the imagination to help. And I'm just going to speed it up a little bit. And these are, I made the turns each one. So it goes forward, turn left, turn right, but you can easily utilize a loop. And loops are when the program string repeats itself each time. So you could also utilize a loop with your program instead of having to make this really long program string. So as you can see, Dash is making a small drive up and down the rows. All right. So that was Dash moving semi-slow, but it definitely helps to show you all and give you all a visual for it. All right. So this was the program that Dash traveled. Dash started at the square at the star and went up and down each of the rows, did a left turn and went down the rows again, made a right turn to the same thing and left turn, and then finished. And I have the program string. So this right here would be fun because you can use a bulldozer or you can actually add an attachment if you have a regular robot or have some type of robotic device, and you can create some type of attachment so that it's literally like shoving or pushing and gathering the items, or you can lay items on the mats. I've done that before with my young people, like actually lay plastic eggs, rice, beans, just to give them the full visual that they're actually harvesting something and they have to deliver it to the finish line. And next is all about the supermarket robot. So farmers need some type of special refrigeration, packaging, handling to be sure their items are delivered safely to those supermarkets. So this is when I give the young people a project. Their assignment is to deliver the package or their crops from the field, the wheat, and they have to now deliver it to the grocery store or deliver it to the market, wherever it is that they're getting their items. So they have to actually deliver it safely. So thinking of what type of device or what type of thing you would need in order to actually send it to the grocery store. So thinking about your attachments, what type of piece? Is it a robotic arm that you need to add in order for it to catch and deliver these items? Thinking about how secure, like we talked about the eggs. So making sure that the items aren't cracking and we have some very safe compartmentalized eggs that we're delivering. But it's thinking about how farmers deliver the items and what is needed for that in this lesson. So again, this is the big activity. It's using one of the top commodities. So thinking about something that can be grown in your area, program your robot that's going to deliver your produce to and from the supermarket. So again, you can use a bulldozer. You can think of any type of attachment that you will want to use in order to actually make that delivery. And you're going to carry the items from one area to the other. And you can do this in a group. So you can work on it individually or you can work in a group. But your goal is to actually design that attachment. So designing the attachment that you will actually deliver items to one spot all the way to another. Again, if you use a software like Scratch or some other type of like Python like program where you can see it visually, how it actually moves, or it's like the micro bits, those you can use those. Any type of robotic device you can do this activity with, where you are delivering items from one location to the other as if you're going to a grocery store or a farmer's market. But the key is to really think about what grows in your area and creating that program for those items. So something that I like to share is just how do you incorporate that? How can you incorporate it in your classroom or in your group setting? I like more for you all virtually. It could be a bit more difficult, but working in groups, having some preset grid maps or any type of software. Again, if you're using Scratch, it makes it a lot easier because your space is already determined for you, or any other type of computer programming. But I utilize a like knowing, talking about what you know and what you want to learn, and then what have you actually learned. And then making sure that you're able to adjust those activities based on the support that is needed. But this is some information that I want to share with you all on how robots are used in agriculture that I think is super fun for you all to see. So at this time, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to pull up the videos.
When you stay at a Virgo, the host doesn't stay with you.
It could add.
Robots on.
Okay, let me show you all this one.
automate slow, repetitive and dull tasks for farmers, allowing them to focus more on improving overall production yields. Some of the most common robots in agriculture are used for harvesting and picking, weed control. Let's have a look at the most advanced robots. When we need them, technicians with a fleet of pickers. After a short setup, robos select, pick and box only ripe fruit ready for market. With robots working day and night, the applications provide real-time updates on harvesting progress, time to completion, quantity picked and cost. This is our future. Crops such as potatoes and wheat have been harvested mechanically at scale for decades, but many other crops have to date resisted automation. Iceberg lettuce is one such crop. Although it is the most common type of lettuce grown in the UK, iceberg is easily damaged and grows relatively flat to the ground, presenting a challenge for robotic harvesters. The Vegibot, developed by a team at the University of Cambridge, was initially trained to recognize and harvest iceberg lettuce in a lab setting. Although the prototype is nowhere near as fast or efficient as a human worker, it demonstrates how the use of robotics in agriculture might be expanded. Meet Volodrone from Volocopter. The Volodrone increases productivity in the areas of plant protection, seed sowing, forest management, frost control and more. Sharing strong synergies with the existing Volocopter platform, the Volodrone presents an unmanned, fully electric utility drone capable of carrying an unprecedented payload. The Volodrone has been designed and engineered to serve challenging missions across diverse industries, adding the third dimension to sustainable transport. The Volodrone is a fully electric heavy-lift utility drone capable of carrying a payload of 200 kilograms, 440 pounds, up to 40 kilometers, 25 miles. AgSeed is launching a track-based Agbot autonomous tractor for specialized and standard implements. Working widths are up to 6 meters, depending on the type of implement used, and the track width is up to 3.2 meters. The vehicle is powered by a 156 horsepower 4-cylinder Deutz diesel engine that drives an electric generator to power all actuators, drivetrain, PTO, fan. Navigation and planning takes place via cloud-based software that automatically generates path planning based on the field's geofences and machine specifications. The biggest advantage is that the AgSeed Agbot can be used straight from the box. No special implements are required, nor special software on your home computer. AgSeed deliver a ready-to-use ecosystem that avoids compacting the soil by providing very low ground pressure.
All right. And so I hope you all learned something from those videos. What was there any device that stood out to you all? You can put in the chat if anything stood out.
This question and answer period. Okay.
Yeah, the fruit picker. That one's my favorite. Yeah, that drone. And it has all the different attachments. So it can water, it can take pictures, it can do so many different things. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah. Yeah, the drone's pretty nice. Yeah. Well, that is all that I have for my presentation. If you all have any questions, I can take them now. Do y'all have any questions about what I shared?
Yeah, from students and teachers, it's time for question and answers. Now, let me comment the presentation It has been a spectacular presentation, and we are in a world where we are looking at local content and how we are going to use robotics to make local content delivery to be better. In her talk, she made mention of how you can be able to prevent eggs from cracking. For example, how you prevent double yolking and things like that. So it is an activity that is worthwhile. Like in the morning, we talked about STEM, the STEM nurturing roadmap, and we said that STEM or STEM is not just activity; it is an experience. That the fact that you are able to assemble a robot does not make that STEM or STEAM. But what can the robot do? What problem can the robot solve? That is what we call STEAM or STEM. It's an experience, and you can see from the display of what Krista Stacks has showed us in the presentation, this is a practical work, and she has made use of Dash. Some of us make use of M-bots, some make use of Lego robots and things like that. So whatever robots you are using, the presentation that you have seen today can be implemented. And I know that Krista Stacks will be at the end of this presentation. We send the presentation slide to us. So if you have any question, or contribution to what she has made presentation on, so let us hear from students, from teachers. Okay, we are having commendation. Yes, you can raise your hand. Let's see who is talking. Somebody is asking a question, Krista Stark. Somebody is asking, can you see the question? Said, what is yet to come cannot be fully predicted. Technology will only get better with time. Okay, I think that is a contribution.
And that's very true. It's only going to get better. And that's why it's so important to have these types of summits for you all to learn how you can take a role in making it better. Like, what can you do to contribute to the growth in technology and the skills, especially for our young people, because it's going to be up to them to help to make sure that we're able to do the things that we need to do with the technology.
Thank you so much. Somebody is saying, I can't get the second robot. Can you give us the name, just like a Volodrome? I think I saw something like Axid.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to put the link of the video in here. And the video is like 6 minutes long. So there's plenty more of those robots that they actually discussed, like way more.
So you can see the link. So do we have any more question? Do we have any more contribution before we end this section? So we are proud having Krista Stacks in our midst, and she has given us a spectacular presentation this evening. And I know by the time we are going to be having another session by next year, sometimes in between January to February, we'll be bringing her back again. So we are glad that you are here with us, and the students have really learned a lot. Some of them are still making some commendation there. I'm so happy. I've seen technology's involvement in agriculture and so on. So we thank you for your time, Ma. Let's give her thumbs up. Let's give her thumbs up. Let's give her thumbs up for making out the time to come.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thumbs up.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one and a good night.
Yeah, good night.
School's Computer Club Initiative, promoting creativity, innovation and entrepreneurship.